Well, good morning, everyone. Hope y'all are all doing good. Finally getting around to doing my little head-to-head comparison of my new Milwaukee M12 4-in-1 install driver versus my beloved Festool CXS driver. Preface this video by saying, guys, this is not going to be anywhere nearly what I would consider scientific, incredibly technical. If you wanted to see one of those videos, I recommend going to, I believe it's VCG Construction. Those guys do a really good video on this particular Milwaukee. It's like a 30-minute long, just putting this thing through the ringer, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to do a review over how I would use these tools. I'm not going to use either one of these tools to drag it to drive in 8-inch lag bolts. I use these install drivers as install drivers. You know, I use my 1 3/4 inch, 2-inch, 2.5-inch cabinet screws mainly. Occasionally I'll use, you know, the Craig screws if I'm doing a few pocket holes, but I don't put these guys through a whole lot of rigorous activities because they're install drivers, you know what I mean? So basically all I've done here is set up just a very simple depiction of how I would use these drivers. So I've got some number 6 and some number 8s, 1 3/4 square head and Spax head screws. I did put in 4 3-inch construction screws up here just to check the power of these guys. Obviously I know this Milwaukee it's twice as strong on paper. It's 300 inch-pounds of torque. But I thought it'd be kind of fun just to, you know, compare the two. And then I've got what I use all the time, my 2 3/4 inch number 6 washer head cabinet screws. So again, you know, this isn't going to be a torture test for these drills, but I wanted to do a review over how I would test it personally if I'm going to end up keeping this. This is what I would do. So we're just going to get started, guys, real quick. So I'm going to start off with these 1 3/4 inch square head screws. And I've got it in speed 1 for high torque. And I'm going to put it in, let's see what we can do. I'm going to put the clutch on 10 and see where that gets me. See, I'm having to do the forward reverse on top. That still gets me. Okay, so we're going to need a little bit more. Let's go up to 14. Okay, that doesn't seat it all the way, so let's try 16. And guys, this is solid oak. This was from an old stair baluster that I had from a few years ago doing a project. So this is pretty dense wood. But so I've got it on 16 now. So that doesn't drive it all the way flush. You put it on drill mode. Oh yeah, so no problem there. I think that thing would have driven all the way through my table. Let's keep it in drill mode, okay? Because the 16 setting is not going to seat these screws underneath the surface, which is, you know, sometimes you want, sometimes you don't. But in terms of this little review, let's just keep it on drill mode. User error. Man, that's torquey. And that wow, this thing has some power. That's fun. I hate square head screws though. But they're better than Phillips, but they're still, I can't stand them. So one more with the Milwaukee. Got to watch your wrist on these things. So let's test out the CXS now. And I'm going to be in speed 1. And I'll put this in drill mode too, just to keep it same. This is so much smoother. I don't know how to explain that on video or to quantify it, but this just feels more It feels better in the hands. Now that I can definitely feel has got more power behind it. It's got a lot more gas in the tank than this does, but this just feels better. And that's these square head screws stripping. I swear I hate these things, but anyway. Okay. So, again, they both get the job done. I would expect them to on this. So far, this feels better. The CXS feels better when it's driving. It feels, it's not as I don't want to say jerky, but it just feels smoother than driving this Milwaukee. This Milwaukee feels like a heavy-duty machine, and it's heavy. It's heavier than the CXS. I don't know by how much, but I can tell you it's heavier. So let's go to these number, let's see, these are number 8s, 1 3/4 spac screws. I believe these are T20. Let's see. Nope. They T15s. Let's see. Yep. Okay, let's try these out. Okay. One thing I like about this is, I don't know if you guys saw that, it's got a quick locking chuck, so you don't have to pull the chuck out to put your bit in. You can just line it up, push it in, and it's locked. That's great if you're up on a ladder, or if you're, you know, installing upper cabinets. You don't have to have two hands free to pull out the chuck and then push in the bit. It's just one-handed. So that's cool. Centratec's not that way. You have to use two hands unless you're really good at it, and I'm not. But that's pretty cool on this. I do like that design feature. So again, this shouldn't be any problem for either one of these drills, but here we go. Oh, I love Torx head screws. So much nicer. I just feel like this would drive literally these screws all the way through this and into my bench. I can feel how much power's in here. Okay, now let's get this bit on the Festool. See what I mean by the Festool? You got to pull in this collar and push in your bit. So it's kind of two-handed for the CXS. I don't know, it just feels better to me. My opinion. Now, I've had these for 40 years, so it might be a biased opinion. It probably is a biased opinion, but it just feels better driving these screws. I'm gonna have to turn down the audio when I edit this video, but this is a lot quieter too than this Milwaukee. You probably won't be able to tell on the video, but just take my word for it, it's a lot quieter. Okay, let's try out these 3-inch construction screws. Again, this is not anything that I would typically use either one of these drivers for, but I thought it'd be fun just to see what, you know, what they do to it. So butter. No problem at all. Man, look at that. That's got some power, guys. That's cool about this. It's definitely got that 300 inch-pounds behind it. So I'm going to put the same bit on this Centratec adapter. See, I don't know if you even noticed, but just instinctively I checked to make sure it was in forward reverse when I picked it up. It's just a habit I do, I guess, which is something on this that I don't know if I could ever get used to. It's got that forward reverse button on top. That would take a lot of getting used to. I'm just so accustomed to picking up my drill, and you know, I can tell what mode it's in without having to look on top. I think that's crazy about this, but oh well. Yeah, you can. You can hear it starting to run out of gas on these 3-inch screws when it gets down to the top. Now it's not, it's obviously driving them fine, but I can tell it's needing some more oomph than this Milwaukee. This Milwaukee would drive it straight through. I feel like this one, but again, I would never use this to put in 3-inch construction grade screws and a solid piece of oak ever. But okay, and last are what I use this driver the most for. These are 2 3/4 inch number 6 cabinet head screws, and these are T15s. So let's try the CXS first. Money. This is my bread and butter. This is what I use this drill for all the time, so I knew it wasn't going to be an issue. Perfect. Feels good. It's quiet. Let's give this Milwaukee a shot. Checking, because I don't have a paddle switch to make sure. Yeah. Okay, obviously this didn't have any problems at all. This thing's got power. I don't know, guys. So I think I still appreciate the feel and the comfort of the CXS. Again, I've had it for 4 years, so it might be a little biased on my part, but it's hard to quantify. If you've never used one of these drills, it's hard to quantify how good it feels going in. It just feels like you have so much control over it, if that makes any sense, if you can understand what I'm saying. You have complete control over your whatever you're screwing in. It just feels like it's part of your hand. I don't know. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it feels like. This Milwaukee definitely gets the job done, bar none, without any problem whatsoever. It's got the power for sure. It's not as comfortable, even close to being as comfortable as this CSX. It's doable. If I never had one of these, I would think this was comfortable, okay? But I'm comparing it to what I love and what I'm used to holding, and I think the CXS is by far more comfortable to hold in the hand. This is heavier. I don't like how top heavy this is. Now, I understand that when you're at a customer's house, you want to always leave your drill laying down. You don't want it to fall over and ding up a cabinet. But when I'm out here in the shop, I prefer to leave my drills up. I like to pick them up while the drill's standing up, because I can just go in, grab it, and I'm ready to go. And I can feel what fits in forward or reverse on this one and every other drill I own. This one, it's kind of top heavy, and wait, I don't know if I'm in forward or reverse. I got to look at the button. I know I keep harping on that, but that just bugs me. I know you can get the bigger battery packs for this, the square battery packs, and that might help the top heaviness of this, but I don't want to have to go do that. The other thing is, I'm not invested in Milwaukee M12 platform. I am invested in this. I've got 3 of these. I've got 6 batteries to go with these. So I've already got enough batteries to last me for weeks without a charger. That's a big factor of mine, is that if I was invested in Milwaukee and I had a bunch of these little M12 batteries laying around, I would probably keep this and use it for more heavy duty stuff if I don't want to lug around my 18 volt, because I guarantee you this, I think it'd be fun to put this up against an 18 volt. I think it would do a pretty good job. Unfortunately, it obviously doesn't have the impact function. That would be amazing. And someone did comment that there's an EU version of this that has a chuck adapter that converts this into an impact. That would be sweet. I would, without a doubt, I would put my money down for that one, but I don't have it. But anyway, really the main reason I bought this was because of this eccentric chuck. Festool does not make one for their CXS. This guy's awesome for cabinetry work. You can get right up to the top of your cabinet. You can get right down below your cabinet if you need to put in a screw right on the top or bottom or in the back against the wall. You need to put a screw right up against the back. These eccentric chucks are money. That's why I bought this. But after just this really simple test, I don't think it's worth it for me personally to keep this just for this chuck. There's too many cons to me keeping this, I believe. It's a great drill. If I didn't have a CXS, I would definitely keep it. Absolutely, bar none, I would keep it. But since I am invested in Festool, I've got the batteries. The only thing this doesn't have is that eccentric chuck. And technically it's half the power. But again, I don't need 300 inch-pounds of torque for an install driver. If I do need that amount of power, I'm gonna go pull out my 18-volt impact. So that to me is not a selling feature of this drill, because I've got other drills that are more than capable if I need to get to that level of power that I need to drive something or drill something. So I hope that doesn't disappoint anyone, but I do think that I might be returning this. It's a great drill. I'm not denying that fact. I just don't think it's worth it for me personally. It was kind of a spontaneous buy when I went to Home Depot. It was on sale. It was, flashing lights, and I had a hard time passing it up. I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad I was able to kind of get it here and hold it in my hands, because I've been curious about it. But I just don't think, after thinking about it, I don't think it's worth it to me to keep this drill. I don't want to have to keep one extra battery charger just for this one drill. Again, if I had more M12s, it would be a different story. But I don't. So to me, that's just an extra added item that I would have to keep up with. So guys, I hope you weren't expecting something crazy technical, because that's obviously not what this was. This was just me trying to personally determine for myself if I want to keep this drill. And after this very simple little test, it does the job good. It drives what you ask it to. It's got power in the tank, extra power if you ever need it. But to me, this Festool just feels better. Total personal opinion. If you've never used one of these, I suggest you try. I think you'd be really, really happy with these guys. It's my favorite drill, favorite Festool, really, besides the track saw. Track saw. But so I think that answers my question, guys. I hope that doesn't disappoint anyone, and I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack for trying to compare, because it's not apples to oranges. It's like apples to green apples, I guess. They're kind of the same, but then again, Milwaukee just packs so much power, and the designs are a little different. But for me, in the way that I do work and my flow, this CXS, I think, is a better fit for me. If I didn't have it, all day, every day, I would use this thing. It's a good little drill. So guys, there's my highly untechnical review, and my decision moving forward is that I'll be sending this guy back to Home Depot, and someone else is gonna hopefully give it a good home, because it deserves one, because it's a damn good drill. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we will catch you soon. Take care.